Good afternoon. So, we will start with our next concept, that is regarding benefits of capacity planning. In the previous lecture, we have studied regarding the how to do the development regarding a effective capacity planning process owner. Now we'll see what are the benefits. Following list shows the 4 benefits of capacity planning. The first one is strengthens the relationship between developers and end users. This is a very important process in which you do the identification regarding the meeting process with the key users so that the discussion can be done in a proper manner regarding the workloads. Usually, it is done to strengthen the relationship between the IT infrastructure staff and the end users, that is, the customers. In this, what we see, which strengths we see, is like the communication, how the negotiation is done, how the decision is taken to make a healthy relationship between the IT and its customers. This is overall regarding strengthening. Then the next benefit is regarding improve. It improves communication with the suppliers. Who are the suppliers? Basically, suppliers are similar to any support group. In this, you can say that involving key suppliers is the main part so that the staff can be supported effectively with the capacity plans, which can promote effective communication among the groups. Here, it can also make the jobs easier. Taking fundamentals in consideration, like in meeting deadlines, in reducing the cost, offering additional alternatives. This is regarding improvement. Then you have the next benefit as encourages collaboration with other infrastructure groups. Actually, a complete capacity plan will involve multiple support groups. In this, the support groups can be like regarding the network services, hardware services, operations, technical support, desktop support. Also, the facilities may play a role in capacity planning. For the plan to be careful and effective, this all support groups play a vital role, and these groups only do the encouragement so that the collaborations with the groups will be at the top. Then you have promotes a culture of strategic planning as opposed to tactical firefighting. As you know that capacity planning is strategic activity. Whensoever you have to do a capacity planning, it should be done in a proper manner. You'll have to always focus on the plans of the future instead relating to the problems which are there in the present. You can say that one of the best or important benefit of developing an overall capacity planning program is the institutionalizing regarding strategic planning. In this, you will each and every time plan for a strategic plan for a strategic capacity planning in which you will focus on the plan and work accordingly. These all are the benefits of capacity planning. We'll proceed further with the hints for effective capacity planning. This is the last part of your unit number 4. In this part, you just have to see how the developing is done Like for developing a effective capacity plan, it can be a challenge for someone from how to start, how to end. So if you go in this manner, you will get large number of hints to proceed further for effective capacity planning. I have just mentioned the points over here. I will explain in deep. You can note down in your books accordingly. At first, the basic hint is to start small. Why you say like to start small? Whensoever you have a plan, if you are working in an IT industry, you have planned for something. So how you will overcome the plan in a systematic manner, working on that so that the plan will be successful. So in this case, many a times capacity planning effort fails after working on it for few months, because it includes too open scope. So in these instances, it is sensible to start with just few of the most critical resources. While planning for something, just see for the basic plans how to start from small, involve 2 people at first, and so on, go on increasing the levels of people. You can take the points in consideration, like for examining the processors or bandwidth, and slowly expand the program as experiences gain. This is the concept regarding start small. Then you have the next hint as speak the language of your customers. This is the effective hint which has been used for effective capacity planning. That is to speak the language of your customers so that it will be quite easy for them to understand and to work on that. While requesting workload forecast from the developers and end user customers, discuss this in terms that the developers and customers understand. Evaluate your way of promoting your plan in a systematic manner by speaking with them in their own mother tongue, you may say, or any preferable language which they are comfortable with. Then only then the estimated task will be completed by your side. Then the third is consider the future platforms. Basically in this, whensoever you evaluate something, like you have a plan, you just not see the present of that plan, but you go for the future, like whether it will be on the top level or not. So in this situation, always keep in mind regarding the new architectures, regarding the packages that can be used on both the current as well as on the future platforms. You can also use some tools that will be well suited for existing platforms. Then the fourth is share plans with your suppliers. This is the fourth hint for effective capacity planning. In this, what you're telling is, if you plan something, share it with your suppliers as well. If you plan to use your capacity planning products across multiple platforms, it is important to inform the suppliers too regarding your plan. Here, who are the suppliers? The software suppliers. If you will give an idea to them, then it will help you to overcome your issues. Just in this case, make sure that the cost for drivers, the agents, installation time, the labor, all these things have been identified by you and also approved and agreed, so that while finalizing, the issues won't rise from neither from the client side, neither from your side. Then you have anticipate non-linear cost ratios. It is the fifth hint. What happens is this is would tell you in short, like sometimes some of them upgrades will be linear while some are non-linear things. If upgrade approaches the maximum number of chips, you may say the slots that a device can hold, a relatively modest increase in capacity may end up. So in this you just have to see the anticipation of your cost. If the cost ratios increase, you'll have to think of labeling the cost effectively so that it will be helpful for the customer. Then the sixth hint is plan for occasional workload reductions. In this, you'll have to just do the planning of how to do the reductions of the workload. A forecast change in workload may not always cause an increase in the capacity required. Here, in some cases, the departmental merges sometimes, or there is a staff reduction. So these are the things you'll have to plan strategically. While you have increase in your demand, then how you will do the capacity planning of the same. This all comes in planning. Then the next you have is prepare for the turnover of personnel. Why you do so? Basically to minimize the effects, so that it will minimize the effects on the capacity planning, the efforts. In this, you just have to ensure that at least 2 people are familiar with the methodology or with the full documentation of your program, or you may say of your plan. Then the next you have strive to continually improve the process. This is the main hint. Like after preparing your plan, after sharing it with your customers, after seeing its cost, you'll have to strive on that. Why you have to strive is so that it will set a particular goal, it will do its initialization stage, it will reach its final stage, and the whole scenario of the plan will be ready for improving the process. One of the best way to continually improve the capacity planning process is to set a goal to expand and improve it, so that you will expand it and you will proceed further with the new version of your plan. In this, possible enhancements could include the addition of new platforms or remote locations. Keep in mind, like a new version of the plan should be created at least once a year and preferably every 6 months, so that it helps you to develop your plan in an effective manner. The last hint for effective capacity planning is evaluate the hidden cost of upgrades. Like most upgrades to infrastructure hardware resources have many hidden costs associated with them. Like I'll explain you or I'll tell you some list. Note down that list which shows some of this cost, like hardware maintenance, software maintenance, technical support, the memory upgrades, channel upgrades, data backup time, operation support, network hardware, network support, power and air conditioning. This is a list which shows the hidden costs which are being associated with the infrastructure. This all was regarding your unit number 4. Here we end with the capacity planning. The first section of unit number 4 was configuration management. Second was capacity planning. Hope so you all have understood it. We'll start in the next lecture with our unit number 5, which is comprising of strategic security. Study hard. Thank you.